Hey, coaches, we are coming at you with some more, character champion. How do we get it done on the field, in the locker room, and in life with our team and our players? And one of the things that in our show prep, Ian and I were just talking about is, we can all, the news is dark these days. We hear these things that only can be described in kind of almost spiritual terms, good or evil, and a lot of this stuff happening out there in our world. But you see but so much is focused on the evil, right? It's on the bad, but we see some really light shining through the darkness on some of these football teams, and it's been I don't know, just hopeful in my heart as I hear these post game interviews, when I see what's happening in the locker rooms of some of these top notch college football teams and even NFL teams, and you just see this kind of a spiritual awakening that's happening when you hear the post game with guys like C.J. Stroud. You hear what's happening at the Ohio State football team, what's happening in the Notre Dame football team, and they're just talking about spiritual revival on the teams. And what we were talking about, just Ian and I, as we were discussing what we were going to talk to you guys about, was just about that whole belief system. When it's something bigger than yourself, it starts to change just the construction, the character of a football team in ways that you can't quantify with just, we've got some people that are living better lives, healthier lives, but it actually evolves into wins and losses, between the lines out on the field.
Oh, I mean, we've there's so many benefits to building a faith-based program that builds in habits that are actually more than just these healthy spiritual habits. They're healthy mental health habits as
Yeah.
well. We just recently were talking about a study that was shown that people who pray activate the same part of their brain as the people who start to problem solve because they bring up whatever was going on in their day, whatever was happening. Someone who prays every night is doing problem solving, helping out their mental processes, so they got less to worry about. They got less to think about. They got more time and mental bandwidth to spend on your football team. And I guess that's a selfish way of using faith, but like, I love that believing in God more can make you better at football. So, let's get a little bit more of it. But I think that,
Yeah. Well, the principles that God
uh,
gives us in the Bible, right? They're just true. It doesn't really matter whether you're talking about true within spiritual things or true within just things.
Yes, exactly. And so you get to see that players play with more clear-headedness. They're maybe not so down in the dumps. They figure out what their purpose is, as well as a goal that is beyond yourself. As we see so much of us getting so much more focused on ourselves in especially the college football game, with NIL being put out there, with it being so much of a personal brand
Right.
style of football. We always saw that in the NFL game, where there were these players that they got a label put on them, but there was a lot of selfish players in the NFL. We
Yeah.
see that a lot more in the college game now because there's benefits to it. When you build a faith-based program, you can then remove it from being focused on your personal benefits to being, wow, there's a bigger purpose than to just me. There's a bigger purpose to this entire team and a bigger purpose to the sport that I'm playing. And so by me building this team as a faith with a faith purpose, it's not just winning a championship is my goal. I'm winning a championship to spread the word of God, to let people know what's going on. So I think it's just a really powerful motivator that you can put onto your every single day activities.
Absolutely. Expand your platform, your place in the world, right? When we feel and we have assurance that we're living in the purpose and the plan that God designed for us when He created us, then there's a different level of assuredness in our walk, right? It's in everything we do. It's in we all know, like, it doesn't matter if you're having the most success you've ever had in your life, or you're having the most failure you ever had in your life. If you're assured that you're still living and walking out the purpose and plan that God has for your life, you just walk in a different way, and you have a
Oh,
different energy. Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, talk about the interview that you brought up in the pre-show about Alex Orgy thinking what he thought on that last drive, as it was best matchup of last week, number 11 versus I think it was number 18
I think
in
so. Yep.
Michigan,
Yep.
and those two guys, those two going up against each other, they're down heading into the final minutes of that last drive. And Orgy, I thought you were the one that watched the interview, so I'd rather you tell the story.
Yeah, no,
Um,
he just was talking about his faith, and just talking about, he actually felt the presence of God just directing him through that final drive. And so it became more about where God was leading him, and where God had him in the mix of that high pressure. He finally got the start. Everyone thought he was going to be the starter before the season. Michigan kind of doesn't look like we expected Michigan to look in those early games. Now they're facing this USC team that's looked better than people thought they were going to look, right? Beat LSU, really looking like that. Maybe they're, going to be one of these teams, Ohio State and them in the Big Ten, maybe, Penn State as well, obviously. But like, they're coming in first year in the Big Ten, and now they're going to take care of business. And it looks like, probably against Michigan. Well, storied program in the house, in the Big Ten. And so anyways, Orgy, this kind of guy that could have been over, kind of pouting, feeling bad about himself. Like, he looked like the quarterback that was going to come in and fill JJ's spot, and lead this team to
I
the
mean, how
same
many
place they
pass
were. Yeah.
Yeah, how many pass attempts did he have in the entire football game? I'm pretty sure he didn't even get a like he had a total of 12 passes in the
Okay.
entire football game.
Yeah.
They
This is a
barely
run game.
asked him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he completed 7 passes for 32 yards. This is a run game, and he still, even though he went for 7 for 12 for only 32 yards, came into that last drive with confidence in his step, because he knew he had full confidence that the Lord was backing his actions, which I thought was a really, really cool just confidence booster that can be built within your organization through faith.
Absolutely. And that faith, yeah, permeates. Like you said, it doesn't really matter. You're living in your purpose, you're living in your plan. He's got you. And whatever the results are, they're going to be as designed by God. So I can just play confident. I can do my job. As the last coaching talk that we did, we talked a lot about do your job within the greater system, right? This is, when you have that faith-based assurance that I can live my purpose, my plan within that system that God's placed me in. And now I can just go out there and do something greater than myself. And now I don't have to go throw the winning touchdown, right? We just got to win as a team, because this is where God's got me in this moment. And he doesn't want bad for me. He wants nothing but good for me. Awesome stuff. I absolutely love it. And it just shows, you can change a season. You can turn around a program. You can turn around, an organization. Maybe you're not a coach, but you're watching the podcast. Listen, guys, you can turn around your life when you just place that trust on Jesus Christ, and, you can just walk in the purpose and plan that he designed you for before you were ever born.